Well, I think that's a mischaracterization. The company got asked a lot of leading questions by analysts and simply said that search advertising is something that can return quickly, but they certainly stopped short of suggesting that there was a recovery underway. Instead, they painted a picture that the business had been extremely robust through January and February, and then had an extremely sharp decline in March. And they laid that out in a bit more detail than they usually would. But I have to say, Google, like many other large tech companies, is extremely terse in its comments and really says very, very little, as little as it can get away with about the state of its business. So I think that was more a characterization of the leading questions that analysts asked along the lines of how soon can advertising growth resume?
That's fascinating. I mean, judging on your read of the advertising market here, there obviously has been this shock, and there is this debate as to how companies can return to the market with advertising programs, given that we still have this sort of suspension of business activity as a result of COVID-19. But at some point, companies will have to start laying out their pitch once again. Are you getting any sense of how quickly that might return then?
Well, I think it goes sector by sector. If you look at something like the travel sector, which had a very high component of search-based advertising, and when you think of looking for flights or travel destinations, Google would be a natural first place to start. That sort of advertising, we don't know when that's going to resume. For other areas, as you mentioned, the CEO discussed, there are searches for COVID-related topics that are simply not monetizable, partly because people are searching for information, not for products, and also because advertisers don't want to have their messages appear next to COVID-related topics. And I think the comment you made about Volkswagen earlier, as they resume auto production, I mean, right now you can't go to a dealer and buy a car or take a test drive, but as they resume auto production in the second half of the year, they're going to need to find out who the auto intenders are and advertise to them. And I think the reaction in Google shares was really twofold. One, the fact that the business had been performing very well in January and February. And second, the idea that when advertisers return, they'll tend to return to performance-based advertising, which is really the types of things that Google Search provides, sort of taking you directly to the information or the ad that you might want, and then proving to the advertiser that there was some sale or action that transpired because of your search.